ของพี่ยืนมาประคองยืนปลอบใจน้องเห็นน้ำตาคลอเบาช่วยเช็ดน้ำตายามเศร้ากอดน้องเบาๆแนบไว้ในอกลงเถิดน้องลงมันให้ตกเขาที่จะทุ่งทาง
Hi everybody, is it 2 weeks already? It's gone fast, hasn't it? Nice to see you all in the stream. I don't know how it's going to go tonight because it's the first stream I've done on a Friday. The reason I've changed it over to a Friday is because the football's on at the moment on Saturday nights, and I can't really compete with that. So we'll keep it for Friday for now. I might change back to the Saturdays, maybe a little bit later in a few weeks or so. I don't mind in the winter. Okay, right. Let's just say hello to everybody first. Lots and lots of information for you tonight. Lots of good things to talk about. Got the competition later, and what else? Yeah, just lots of things. Somebody left a comment earlier. I'll talk about this later. It says, okay, Dave Andrew says, as you know, many bloggers have gone Chiang Mai. They've gone from Chiang Mai, or they've gone to Chiang Mai or Samui now. Not much content due to situation. Also, have a lot have left. Maybe a discussion later if you want in the live stream. Yeah, we can talk about that. Personally, I don't struggle for content. I always, you know, I've got these stories sent into me. I'm starting to do some other bits and pieces now, and this is every 2 weeks. And because it's only every 2 weeks, it's not too often. I don't struggle to find things to talk about. I've got a lot in here tonight. But let me just say hello to everybody. We've got 50 straight in, so that's good. I'm glad to see her. I thought I might be speaking to myself this evening. All right, so who we got? Ryan, that message has been there for a while, hasn't it? Fish and chips will be ready for the live stream. 10 Woodbine. You want to give them up, really, right? Dave Andrew, hi Peter. Good. Simon is feeling better now, and all looks good. Talk about Simon in a second, and David and Nat. Vance Gaskins, is it? Hello from South Carolina. Hi, Vance. NZ Muds, great to learn that Simon's. Yeah, a lot of positive messages for Simon. Stuart Wright, I already asked about good hotel in Hua Hin, but does the journey from airport take 3 hours? It depends what time you go. Yeah, it's further than Pattaya. Pattaya's about, because the new airport. Well, I say new. Not the old airport, the one you use now. I mean, it's kind of halfway to Pattaya, isn't it? Whereas before we flew into Dong Muang, and you know, when I lived in off Rama 4, that sort of area, you have to get out the city before you can actually get on the highway to Phuket. But in answer to your question, I would say from central. I don't know what it is from the airport, but from central Bangkok, it's about 3.5 hours out of rush hour because it's on one. Pattaya's on this side of the Gulf, like the Horseshoe, and Hua Hin's on the other side. Damon, hi, how are you? Desperate Damon, nice new picture you got there tonight. Guideline 7, good evening, Peter. Good evening from all Germany. Stephen Smart, good evening, Peter. I hope you're well. Stuart Marston, hi, evening. We'll just get all these out of the way first, and then we can start talking. Javier Lopez, hi everyone. I hope you're well, Peter. Lovely to see that Simon's looking good and healthy again. Yeah. Seamus Doherty, I always get tripped up on your name, Seamus. Hi, how are you doing? No name at work on Friday afternoon. Nice way to end the week. The Wise Prophet, hey Peter, how you doing? Sam, you know that email you sent us with all those ideas? I did discuss it with Simon today, and some of them. If you stay in this stream, if you're in this stream at 9:30, you'll see one of your ideas being implemented, because tonight I was out on a real long walk and I didn't get the beers in the freezer in time. The freezer is just on the other side of this wall. And Sam, you'll see I've taken up one of your ideas when I go to get that beer. Pesky McNuggets, good evening from Melbourne. Alexander Dupont, hi. Darren Drew, hi from Swindon. David Dorman, hi. Greg, good evening. Brian Roberts, evening. Hope you're well. Yeah, doing okay. I'm going to put your name up on screen because there's no way I can pronounce that. Harry, okay, from Scotland. Thomas Haveron, is it? Nice to see you from Fort Lauderdale. Used to use a company called iBill. They were based in Fort Lauderdale, right down south, aren't you? And near the Texas border, I believe. Right, Born Survivor, hi. Taxi to Lao, how you doing? Crypto Chris, card evening all. I like to say hello to everyone. We'll get it all out of the way and then we'll start talking. So, Mr. Loikatong, is it? Hi to you. Ghost, I can't pronounce that one either. Ghost Actia Sorsuk. All right. Anyway, hi from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. A few Americans watching tonight. Good. Stuart Wright, hi. High five. I think we're nearly there now. Yeah. You'll know straight away, Sam, as soon as I do it. Travel help, Pete. We can read the comments ourselves. Yeah, you can read the comments yourself, but I'm actually saying good evening to everybody who's left a comment. So you know, Brad, hi from Phuket. D-Rock, hi to you. Till it hurts. Everything, matey. How you doing? Darren Howe, Adam Radin, how you doing? And Gary Russell. Right. So far from Rotherham. There was one from Northampton just up the road from me, but I kind of missed that one. Let me just go back and see who that was. Yeah, sorry if I've missed your one. Somebody in Northampton. Put it again. I'll say hi to you. Hi, Matt. How you doing? From the USA. Right. So first stream on a Friday. Already 104 in. That's good. Lots and lots of stuff to talk about. First, we talk about Simon. Yeah, Simon's pretty much out of it now. He was out of it for 2 weeks. He caught the big C. I spoke to him yesterday. He put out that video today, and he's much better. He told me when I spoke to him about it, he said he was very, very worried because obviously when you test positive, the stories you hear about people on respirators and not making it and stuff, you panic, don't you? But he said he felt like he got hit by a truck. It was like a really bad case of flu. But 2 weeks on, he is better, and he has promised me faithfully that the next installment of Nat and Dave will be out tomorrow. But I think it's a bit a kind of a rush job, so it'll probably go out later in the day in Thailand, his time. So I'm expecting it not to be out in the morning in the UK. You might have to wait till as late as, I don't know, 4 or 5 o'clock. But he said it will come out tomorrow. So good to have Simon around again. Oh, and some more news. So you know the live stream that Simon and I were doing together, we were doing a joint live stream on a Wednesday lunchtime. Well, we've decided to knock that on the head because we just weren't getting the numbers in. It's just a bad time of day because Simon's 6 hours ahead, and in the winter he's 7 hours ahead. Then it's really difficult to get a time where it's convenient for both of us. So it was lunchtime for me, and our biggest audience at the moment on this channel is from the UK. Then I think it's America, Australia, Thailand. So the UK is the biggest audience, and obviously 12 o'clock lunchtime on a Wednesday. I know there's a few of you guys who are retired or not working, but most people are working. We weren't getting the numbers in, but I've managed to talk Simon into doing his own live stream now. So for the moment, I'll do tonight. Next Friday, Simon will do his own live stream, and then the following Friday. So you'll have one every Friday. The only difference is if in the UK, I think Simon said he was going to do his 6 p.m. Thai time, which would mean, what are they, 6 hours ahead, aren't they? So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, it'll be 12 lunchtime here, won't it? So again, it's lunchtime, but if you're around on a Friday, you can watch it live. Okay. Hi to Andy Warner from Nottingham. How you doing? Tony West, hi. Andres Bergman, Tony West. That background looks familiar. Yeah, it doesn't look like that at the moment. Right, here we go. Look, Jamie Smith. Hi, Peter. I hope there's another Ladyboy quiz tonight. Well, do you know what? It was kind of fun last week, wasn't it? Just and I've got something prepared here. I've got so much information here tonight. I just got fine thing. Yeah, there we go. I'll put that on screen. Yeah. So thanks to Marky Mark. It's just for fun, guys. I mean, I've had, that last video I put out, 20 tips, go-go bar. If you go into go-go bars and beer bars, 20 tips. Most of the feedback was pretty good from people. It's had a lot of viewings in just under 2 weeks. It's had 32,000 viewings, and most of the comments were kind of good. But I got, when you make those types of videos talking about bar girls and beer bars and that sort of thing, you do get a little bit of flack from people. And I had 1 or 2 people write and say, oh, typical video from a sex pat, that sort of thing. But I don't care anymore. And what I thought I'd do, because that video got received so well, I'm still doing the stories. I've got a lot of stories backed up now. So if you've sent me one, guys, be patient. You will hear it. But I think I'm going to go back to my early videos, 20 lies that bar girls tell you, 20 lies that mama sans will tell you, because people found that last video. They kind of liked it, right? And so just for the people who are the kind of tree huggers and the do-gooders who don't like that sort of thing, why should everybody else miss out? So I think I will start making a few more videos like that again. Laco 1963, hi, good evening, Peter, from not so sunny Bristol. Right, let me just get rid of this and we'll do, okay, let's get the doom and gloom out of the way. You know, I don't like to talk about the big C too much, but obviously you want to know what's going on. So these are the latest figures from today. Darren Drew, thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Super chat there, £5 from Darren. Yeah, that's for the Cronenberg Fund. So yeah, they're the latest figures. I took them from the Bangkok Post today, and they are figures from today. They're not dated. Okay, so that's not looking good, is it? 23,418. And I don't know if these figures are correct or not. Anything else on that subject? So that's that one. I just want to get that out of the way so we can have a bit of fun tonight. Yeah, I'll just put that one up there as well. So a bit of help being offered now. Oh, I've got 2 clipboards tonight because I've got so much for you. Right. Okay, so I don't want to say this, but I can put it up on screen, and then anything else, just, yeah, let's put that one up. I'll just get all the negative stuff out of the way. So you probably know about this already. And then we'll put also this one. This is all the stuff that's going on in Thailand with a negative theme, and then we'll look at some good stuff. Okay, right. I'll wait till I get a few more in, because do you remember? I keep on live streams. People ask me, "Oh, what was Nana Plaza like when you first arrived in Bangkok?" Because you know I went to Bangkok around 1991, and I told you before that it was a shopping centre. It didn't open up as an entertainment venue. And I said, I've got a couple of pictures. I'll dig them out for you. And I always forget. And then when I come on the stream again, I say, oh yeah, I'll do it next time. I actually remembered today. So I've got 3 really vintage shots of Nana Plaza when it was a shopping centre, and when it's I think when it just started to become it's some bars, and you'll see on the top floor where Billboard is now, you can see very distinctly there's a hotel, and you can see the window. So that's something to look forward to. But I'll show them in a little while, because there's 126 in, and we normally get a few more in a bit later in the evening. So just put that one up as well. For anybody who is interested, and then we'll do a story. Okay, right. Let's get something interesting up for you now. Right, I'm going to put a picture on screen. You can read what's on the picture, and then I'll read the story that went with it, which is quite interesting. Okay, so I'll put this up there, and what a difference, eh? So what it actually says, it says, Pattaya, a brief history of the party town. It started off as nothing more than a small fishing village on the Gulf of Thailand. Its long sweeping bay was dotted with a few boats and shacks where the villagers live. So I'll leave that on there, and I'll just read this this little article out, which is really interesting, I thought. It says, a group of 500 American soldiers stationed at a military base sorry, let me start again. A group of 500 American soldiers stationed at a military base in Nakhon Ratchasima were driven to Pattaya on June the 29th, 1959, for a week of rest and relaxation. They rented several houses at the southern end of the beach from a prominent local, thus opening a Pandora's box for the sleepy fishing village. Word spread among the American soldiers stationed in the region, and Pattaya quickly became a hot alternative destination to the concrete sprawl of Bangkok. GIs had put Pattaya on the map as the best destination to unwind and indulge. When large numbers of troops began to arrive at a neighbouring airbase, now known as Utapo Airport, things really started to pick up in Pattaya. After almost half a century, Pattaya has transformed itself from a gateway destination for international soldiers during the Vietnam War to Thailand's best-known party town for tourists. For tourists from every corner of the world. The Thai and US government signed an agreement to provide R&R facilities in Thailand during the Vietnam War. In 1964, GIs started to arrive in Utapo, the first US Army base not far from Pattaya Beach area. From then on until 1976, about 700,000 international soldiers were sent for R&R each year, spreading 1 week in Thailand to party. And I'll get rid of that. I don't know if you can hear. I'm not sure if you can hear me when I put a picture on screen. So if somebody can let me know, because I'll be reading that out and you can't hear me. But just look, there's that one again, right? So just as a back then, and let's just compare that with today. What a difference, eh? Look at that. Okay, so I found that pretty interesting. I hope you guys did. Let's see what's going on in the chat now. A few more in now, 146. Yeah, thanks, Darren, for that. That's the first one of the night. I'll have to go next door and take the Kronenbergs out the freezer in 15 minutes. Right, Seamus, you should do a list on different characters you met in Thailand over the years. Yeah, the thing is, Seamus, they're all kind of pretty much the same. You know, they all fit into one category. You've got the bullshitters, haven't you? That, you know, they're ex-special forces, or they're, you know, they're really rich, but they, you know, they're pretending they're poor. Or the people who are pretending they're poor, they're rich. I made a video on it about certain lies that expats tell in Pattaya, and really they're all the same. You know, most of the guys you've got the people who are genuine. They go out there on holiday and they just go out for a couple of weeks, fill their boots, as it were. That's the majority. Then you get guys who live in places like Pattaya who retired too early, and you know, they're always sort of hanging around trying to get a free beer, and you know the sorts of, you've been there before. Mazza, hey Peter, pleasure to be here tonight. Good evening, everybody. Thanks, Mazza. Right, okay. I just want to talk about something else really quick, because I have had a lot of people say to me, "Oh, you've lost weight," and I don't want to speak about it every stream, because when people ask me, I have to, you know, you probably get bored of hearing it. So what I'm going to do, you know, Brian Flowers, he has a little thing in the corner and it just says Brian's weight now. Well, I'm not going to do that, but what I'll do, I'll leave this on screen for a while just so you can see how it's going. So it's self-explanatory. So I started on the 1st of June. If you don't do kilos, it's about 2 stone I've lost so far. My goal is to get down to 90, maybe a little bit less. It's quite hardcore. I've lost 2 stone now. I'm down to 101.5. I feel a lot better, but I'm about halfway there. I need to go. I think by what we're now coming up to, we're August now, aren't we? September. I think by early November I should hit my target. But I hope you can notice. I mean, it's kind of coming off here, and my stomach's kind of gone flat. And yeah, but it is tough, guys. I tell you, anybody says losing weight is easy, they've never done it before. Okay, let me just get rid of that now. Right, no name, Mike, you should ask okay, you're having a private conversation there. Damien, what's that? There's a new picture there of Damien. Used to have his little dog with him next to him, and his girlfriend. Right. Yeah, I'm just sorry for the silence. I just don't want to miss out on anything interesting here. Right, Damien says he could hear me fine. Okay, so and in case you missed it, we will be having the Spot the Ladyboy competition again. It was a bit of a trick competition last week, because when I did it, they were all ladyboys except one woman, and that woman was a famous X-rated movie star. So this week it's there's more women in it, but it'll be really interesting, because when Marky Mark sent the pictures to me, I went through them and I thought, yeah, that's definitely a ladyboy, 100%, and that's definitely a ladyboy. And when I looked at the ones that were and the weren't, I had to actually write to him and say, look, are you really sure? Because that really looks, and no, he gave me all the information. So it'll be really interesting to see how many of you get it right tonight. And as I said before, it's just for fun. What's that? Shane, hi Peter. Did you hear the stories about why the Bangkok Diaries YouTube channel has disappeared? Yeah. Okay. So let me, I presume, okay, so not to be confused with Bangkok Diaries, there was a channel called, I did hear about it and I've seen the Hatchet Job video. What it is, if you haven't heard about it, there's this channel was Bangkok Diaries Thailand. It was run by a guy called Dave. He did videos with Brett Dev. He did videos with Irish Times Pete. He's done a lot of videos on his own. In fact, some of his streams were mammoth. They'd go on for 4 and 5 hours. You know, you come down for breakfast, he's still going. And apparently I didn't really watch any of them. He invited me on to some of his streams. I never went on to any of them, not for anything against him, but His name's Dave. I met him when he had 256 subscribers. I don't remember how I got talking to him online, but at the time he came across as an okay guy. And I said, look, I'll tell you what, when I'm on my live stream, I'll give you a little plug like I did Bangkok Pat. And I said, I'll mention your channel, because the reason I plugged him is because the reason I promoted his channel, even though he only had 256 subscribers, the thing is he was in Bangkok and he was interviewing street vendors, and he was out in I'm sitting in an office in UK, in a room in the UK, talking about Thailand, 6,000 miles that way, I think. But Dave was there and he had 256 subscribers. So I thought, well, you could do with a few more. So I came. Hi, Michael. Nice to have you with us tonight. So I did a stream, and at the point where I thought I had the most people in that stream, I said, look, check out this channel called Bangkok Diaries Thailand. And I went back and looked at his subscribers the following day, and his subscribers actually jumped from 256 to, I think it was 560. So he got a good push. And I mentioned him a few other times. And he's invited me several times onto his stream. And I didn't want to go on his stream because it was just the times and everything. And that's all it was. I know he did teaching online. I know he was married to, or he is married to a woman who works in a bank, a Thai woman, obviously. And somebody sent me a video, and it wasn't made up because the guy sent a lot of proof with it. But apparently this guy, Dave, and he's taken his channel down now, so he's obviously in hiding, or I don't know what he's doing. But this guy did a real hatchet job on him. I don't know what Dave done to upset him, but apparently, well, not apparently, I've seen it shows you the newspaper articles with his name and everything. But apparently, I keep saying apparently, he did. It was in two Irish newspaper. But he, what these articles said is that he strangled his wife with a power cord from a printer, and he got 2.5 years in jail. So obviously he came to Thailand, but it then went on to say that he'd got his police clearance by buying a fake one, and it was a real. I mean, it wasn't just an informational video where people were saying, he's done this, he's done that. I mean, it was a real hatchet job on this Dave. And but the guy who made the video, the proof was in the pudding. And about 3 days after I seen that video, the video was taken down. So what do I think about it? We all make mistakes in life, don't we? I don't agree with what he did, but I just hope he's not one of those guys who goes into a dark corner and I don't want to say the words, but I just hope he gets through it. Yeah, he was wrong to do it. I just hope he gets through it and he doesn't, we'll move on from that. Okay, so let me tell you, while we're doing a little bit of promotion, Bangkok Pat, he's doing live streams now. He does them every other Saturday. He does them 8 p.m. Thai time, which is, I watched it last week. I think it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon UK time. He does 2 hours, and his streams are really sensible streams. He's a very, very knowledgeable guy on the city of Bangkok. I mean, I don't know if you know, he is half Thai and half British, and he's very, very knowledgeable on the area. He knows all the names of history, and he makes some really good videos. So he's now doing a live stream, and it was quite nice to watch. I'm glad he's doing well with that. So if you got time, go and watch. He won't be on live next Saturday because he did this. He's doing every other week like I am, and he did last Saturday, so he'll be next Saturday now. Oh, okay. Okay, I'll put that up and I'll answer that because YouTube's hidden it. That's from Soy Dog Mango. Hang on, I'll get my mouse over there. Right. So you put, why does Thai immigration allow criminals into the country? I don't know if you're aware of this, but if you're in Thailand and you apply for a non-immigrant, sorry, I'll say it the other way around. If you're in your country and you apply to the Thai embassy for a non-immigrant O visa, you must bring what we have in English called a DBS. It's a criminal background check. You must have one. But if you go into Thailand, say on a tourist visa, and then once you're there, you start applying for all these different visas. I don't know, for some reason they don't ask for it. They only ask for it when you go from this end. So if you go into Thailand, you get 2 months on a tourist visa, for instance, and then extend it for another month. While you're there, you can an agent maybe sorts that out, and that's how people do get away with it, because there is. There was a lot of criminals in Pattaya. You had, Russian mafia. You had scammers, a lot of scammers in Pattaya, and I'm sure they don't all have clean records. Okay, what's the time now? How long have we been going? Oh, nearly half an hour already. Right. Okay. So let's have some more interesting stuff. What else has been going on? We haven't done the rates yet. Let me put them up for you. So I've been reading bits and bobs about the Thai currency. Obviously, the only currency that hasn't gone up again, well, it's two. The only two currencies that haven't gone up against the Thai baht, they've kind of remained static, is the Canadian dollar and the euro. All the other currencies have gone up. I mean, the pound today, I've taken these exchange rates today, it's 46.06. Well, when I was last in Thailand 18 months ago, it was 36. So it's actually gone up 10 baht. So if I change my £100, I get 4,600 baht. When I was there, I got 3,600 baht. Right, I've just got to put this on for a while because these guys sponsor me. You know, at the beginning where it says there's paid promotion in this stream. It isn't paid. It's these guys promote me as long as I give them a name. And now I've noticed most of the YouTubers in Thailand, they're using StreamYard because it's very simple and you can do all this magic with it. Okay, so we got 162 in now. Do you want to see these old pictures of Nana Plaza? And I'll explain what everything is. Let me just say, see who else is in. What's that? Right, put that up there. Shane says, have you written off the rest of 2024 as far as tourists returning to Thailand is concerned? Well, it's personal choice, isn't it? You could go there tomorrow if you wanted to jump through hoops, but I just don't see the point. I've kind of, I don't want to talk about this too much because it's always the same question. When can we go back? How long do you think it will be? But you know, the way it's going at the moment, everywhere's in red zones, deep red zones. I was talking to Simon today. He was saying you go to some 7-Elevens, they haven't even got bread now because the same thing's happening there as it happened in the UK. People are getting sick and they don't attend work and drivers are not working and things are drying up a little bit. But on the other side of the fence, you'll see, you know, markets are still packed and malls are still packed. So I don't know. I've written off this year completely. Absolutely. Taxi Light says, my pension fund going up like crazy last few months. Okay, right. Let me show you these pictures because I'm sure a lot of you will be interested. Now you might have seen these before because they are out there, but I'll explain what they are when they look at it. So, right, just before I bring the first picture up, so the question people ask me, they say, what was Nana Plaza like when you arrived in Thailand, Peter? And I always say, well, Nana Plaza wasn't bars and girlies. It was a shopping center. So let me show you this and I'll try and explain what you see in the picture. You might have seen this on Google before this one, but I'll explain exactly what it is. So obviously you're looking at a sign that says the Nana Plaza Shopping Center and not the Nana Plaza Adult Entertainment. But if you look at that photograph very, very closely to the two guys in the shop, if you look above their head, that sign actually says Gold Shop. Okay, so that's now what's the name of that one? Big Dogs, isn't it? That's part of Big Dogs, one big bar. So the gold shop there, and where it says Nana Plaza Center in green, the sign underneath the word shopping, you'll see a sign in Arabic writing. You can't actually read that, but if you look at the top left-hand corner at that sign, it does actually say restaurant. You might be able to make that out. And what that was, in the plaza on the ground floor, there was an Arabic restaurant, a Moroccan, something like that. There was a pharmacy, there was a travel shop. So this is when I got there, probably just after this. But again, in this photograph, if you look at the elephant, that was another regular thing. Now, this particular elephant, it's got a basket on for carrying passengers. But even when I arrived there, and right up to probably 98, they'd have guys hanging around the beginning at the entrance to Nana Plaza, baby elephants with a bag of bananas. And, you know, you're a tourist, you pay a high price for these bananas, and then they feed the bananas. But thankfully they've banned that now. Right, so I've got two more, but just before I show you these, I've got to get my Kronenbergs out of the freezer because it's that time now. Because if I leave them in there, there'll be a solid block of ice. So it's just at that. I'll be 5 seconds. And Sam Moffat, this is for you. I'm back. Oh. I don't think they're frozen. Right, let's get rid of that. Did you like that, Sam? That was your idea. So Sam's a member to the site, and what Sam said, he sent us an email with some suggestions. Some of them very good. Some of them are a little bit difficult to implement. But you know, a lot of the YouTubers, when they get up, especially like Ed Sweeney, he'll get up and you hear his creaky door, and you'll see his backdrop is out, lost in space or whatever it is. And one of the suggestions Sam said, instead of just getting up and us looking at your chair or whatever, why don't you put a temporary coming back soon card? So I've done that there, Sam, and that's especially for you. All right. Okay. Right. And I've done it at the right time because I didn't want you to run off. So I've got these other two pictures. So, right. This is a second picture of Nana Plaza. And just for a minute, if you open up, I know if you open it up, this picture to full screen, you won't be able to see the chat. But just for a minute, so I can explain what everything is. If you open your screen up full, I don't know why I'm doing that. I got the picture there. Right. So let me just explain what this is. So if you look to the left, the white stairs there, that's when you'll have walked past Big Dog's on the left and Lucky Luke's on the right, and the escalator's on the right, and the stairs are on the left. And as you go up the stairs to the second floor, the first bar there was called the Three Roses. This is where Spanky's is. And then the second bar was the Hog's Breath. And you can still see the Hog's Breath sign. If you look at that second kind of archway opening, and there's like a cog on the wall or something, and you see the sign in the corner, that's actually a picture of a hog's head. And then you've got the DC-10 bar there. That's still there. That's one of the oldest bars. And if you look up at the third floor, you can see really clearly the windows of the room. So that's where Billboard is, or Billboard's kind of further down the corner, isn't it? But you can quite clearly see the hotel windows there. So that was a hotel. And you can see on the ground floor there, the bars are all different names and that. Okay, so let's come out of full screen and we'll do it, the other one I've got on Nana Plaza. Right. Okay, so this is the other one. And again, if you open up to full screen just while... what's that? Nick Frankel, drop not in the Central Valley. Okay. I don't know what that means, Nick, but right. Okay, so if you look at this one, if you open this one up, what you're looking at here, so you're looking at as if you're standing at the bottom of the escalator or the top of the escalator, maybe. And as you can see the DC-10 bar, but the bars in the middle, there's nothing there. That was all parking. I think this is a very old picture. I think this looks like it's late 80s, something like that. But it gives you an idea, and there's all the flowers hanging from the pots and everything. And of course, back then they didn't have the cover on, so this is when it was started to really get into a bar scene. Okay, so I hope you found them interested, and we had that We had that old picture of Pattaya as well, and I'm sure I've got something else that I thought was interesting for you here as well. Hang on a sec. Oh, I was pretty sure I had an old picture of Soy Cowboy as well. Now, just check, because if I have, I want to show it. All right. Okay, so let me get rid of that. Let's just see what's happening in the chat, and I've got a little video clip for you after that. Okay, who we got now? Damien said, yeah, I thought you might like that, Sam. Damien had an idea today. I'm not going to do it because I'd be a bit embarrassed. But Damien said, what you want to do is because I told him yesterday on the phone, I said, I'm going to shave. I've got to shave for the stream and everything. He says, what you want to do is don't shave for 2 weeks. Come out in a string vest, look really rough, and have a metal bucket out of the camera with a squeezy bottle full of water, and say, look, I'm just going to get my beers and I'm going to go to the toilet, and then stand over there squeezing this bottle into a metal bin, and you'd think I was having but I don't think I'll do that, Damien. But you have reminded me of something, Damien. I don't know if you've heard this, and this isn't a joke, but now it gets crazier in Thailand now. This is law, okay? It's not just the local mayor or a beach area. This is now on the statute books. It's law. It is now illegal to put on suntan lotion. It's actually illegal. And the reason they said it's illegal is because they said it's ruining the coral of the sea. So I'm not sure whether it's illegal to put it on everywhere or just on the beach. I think it might be the beach. If you go on the beach, you're not allowed to put suntan. But the tourists are going to love that, aren't we? We're all pasty white, 39 degrees, blazing sun, and you know we can't put on a bit of sun cream. But Damien actually told me about that. So thanks for telling me that. Okay. Yeah, Dave Andrews says no squeaky doors like Eddie. No. Okay, someone said, Greg, nice work, Sam. What does that mean, Nick? Drop not in the Central Valley, unless you're talking to somebody else. Okay, let me do, because I've got a video clip for this, but I'm just going to get this story, because this is about this Brit who was attacked with a machete. And let me just get his picture, and then I'll read it, then I'll put the clip up. Hang on. Right, so this is the guy. Let me see if let me just find the story, because I've got loads here. I've got an interesting story about David Carradine as well. Here we go. Right, so let me put this guy's picture up. Right, so there he is. Cheerful chappy. Okay, so the story goes, a British expat has tackled a machete-wielding thief who was stealing petrol from a self-service pump outside his house in Thailand. Raymond Dean, 55, noticed a suspect car parked outside his flat next to the petrol station last Wednesday night. He went out to take a look and discovered the suspect stealing gas from the pump, but when he accosted the thief, he pulled out a blade and chased Mr. Dean back towards his home. Dramatic CCTV footage shows Mr. Dean facing up to the thug and taking blows across the forearms. And at another point, Mr. Dean is seen sprinting back to his apartment with a knife man chasing him. Mr. Dean said, before the attack took place, the apartment owners showed me CCTV footage of the same car parked at the petrol station, hitting on the petrol. It's trying to steal petrol, basically. When I saw him return, I knew I had to help the owners catch the thief. He had been causing alarm for the residents here. After tackling the thief, who was later identified as a 38-year-old man, Mr. Dean's arm was injured with a sword and the man was able to escape. The foreigner then called out to the apartment owners for help to call the police, who captured the man while driving through his escape route. Mr. Dean was then given first aid treatment for his injuries before he was taken to the hospital so medics could have a closer look at his wounds. The apartment building owner said that Mr. Dean had lived in Thailand for 2 years and had been kind and helpful towards his neighbors. Right, so I've actually got this clip. I've had to edit it down a bit. So let me just explain what it is before I show you it. So when the video starts, there's no sound on it. When the video starts, you'll see the Thai guy. And you know these little, they're in neighborhoods more than on main roads. They're little kind of petrol stations. They've got 2 pumps, and at night they just put a cage across the front of them and they lock them. Well, this thief was trying to break that cage and help himself to petrol. So enough talking. Let me get the clip up. It's about a minute long, and you have a look at, and you just have a look at this and see what you think. Do you know the first thing I thought when I seen that, other than, wow, that was dangerous? The guy had a dog. Did you see the dog in the video? He did a lot of running. He did a lot of barking, but he didn't do much biting to the thief, did he? But that's, you know, this guy's living out in a Thai neighborhood, and he's obviously tried to help out, and you never know what you're going to face. That's why I always say to you guys, you know, if you get into a bit of an argument with a Thai, just try your best. Even if you're in the right, just walk off. It's not worth it, because, you know, there was I haven't printed this story out, but there was a story today in Khon Kaen in Isan. The police confiscated thousands of illegal weapons, something like 900,000 rounds of ammunition, or 900 rounds of ammunition. So there's guns floating about, knives. You know, it's life. Just don't get yourself in that sort of situation. Right. Okay. Let's see what you guys are saying. What time is it? We'll do the spot the lady boy at 10 o'clock. I'll pour a beer at 10, and then we'll do the spot the lady boy competition. Right. Pesky McNuggets says, when you go for Cronenberg, you should put some elevator music on. I've actually got some elevator music, but I don't know how it works on here. I don't know if it takes music clips. Let me just see for fun. It probably doesn't. Let me see. Music. Oh. Okay, I don't want to waste you guys' time looking for music while I'm on here. But yeah, I might do that for the next time. Yeah, what I'll have to do is when I put the yeah, that's a good idea actually. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to kind of make a video, so that picture will be the background. Then I'll put the music. But I have actually got some really good elevator music. I don't know why I've got it, but there you go. Okay. Ian Farley, what's that? Thailand is the third worst country in the world at dealing with the current global pandemic. The only country I've heard about that is selfishly profit for vaccine. Yeah, okay. We're talking about, you know, Simon's tried to get his vaccine. He's paid for it. It's not available to October. It's really difficult to get it over there. Let me. There's something else I wanted to show you, but I don't really want to say it. It was about a Thai nurse. Ah, there we go. Just have a read of that. See what you think. Thai doctor. I think that's a Chinese one. Okay. Let's get the old clipboard out again. See what else I do here. Okay, there was a story I had for you today, or I've got for you today, about Asian women and foreigners. Yeah, here we go. Let me put the photograph up just to give you a bit of. This is quite interesting, this story. Right. Takes time to find all this. I've got so much on it. Right, I'm going to put a picture up now, and I'm going to read you an article, and it's self-explanatory. So there's a lovely lady. I think she's from Vietnam. Asian countries where the women want foreign husbands. That's the title. Western males who are reasonably well off and in decent health with either a good job or plenty of money in savings for retirement are considered a prize catch by many single women in poorer countries. It does not matter what you look like, only that you are readily able to care for a wife, perhaps also for her children from a previous marriage, certainly for her parents, and perhaps for some members of an extended family. You are the lucky prize as long as you can afford to be it. Middle-aged Western guys who visit these countries find themselves getting much more attention than they normally receive in their own home countries, and will find beautiful younger women shown plenty of attention towards them. The main reason for such attention is the lure of having a better life and financial security. Scammers know very well how to play on men's emotions and teach the women that they represent the evil ways of luring men in, so that the men spend lots of money using translation services, then pay a fee for an arranged visit to find a bride. Many men have spent a fortune using internet-based marriage systems or websites, and even have gone to visit the countries only to return home alone, broke and deeply hurt emotionally. Do yourself a favor and do not fall for these scams. Where have we heard that before? You know, so I thought that was quite interesting. I've got a few more of those kind of stories for you later, but like I say, we'll wait till 10 and then we'll do the Spot the Ladyboy in 15 minutes. Right. Let's get a few of your, let's have a look. What are you saying there, Adrian? I have always customized their curves like okay. Yeah, Simon says he remembers the Hog's Head. Yeah. It's totally changed now. I mean, people say to me, do you think, these entertainment areas like Soy Cowboy and Nana Plaza, they're good fun, aren't they? I mean, I'm married, but I still go to them because they're good fun. But people often say to me, do you think they're better now or how they were back then 30 years ago? And honestly, I'm not just saying this because I'm sort of like, well, yeah, I am getting old. I'm 61, but I just think they were a lot more fun there. It was a simpler, a lot simpler. So now you'll go into somewhere like Nana Plaza, millions of baht are spent on these bars. They almost look like strip clubs in America. You know, that no expense has been spared. They're all run by foreigners or big groups. Back in the 90s, most of the bars they were owned by individuals or even some Thai families owned them, and it was different. The service was more personal. You know, when you went into a bar, when they gave you the why, it came across as genuine. Now you just feel like you're almost a pain to them to be there. They'd rather you just went by and left your wallet at the entrance and come back, after half an hour to collect it empty. I just think it was better back then, but then I am getting on a bit. I don't know what you guys think, if there's any older guys watching tonight. Yeah, Damon says, interesting pictures, would be great to see some in Pattaya oldies. Yeah, I only had that one because I just wanted to read that article about the the American soldiers. I mean, a lot of people, Pat Pong in Ceylon is associated with the GIs and R&R, and they say, oh yeah, that Pat Pong was the GI hangout, but it actually wasn't. The GIs used to hang out on Phetchaburi Road. When they came over to Pat Pong, they did kind of move over, but it wasn't their main watering hole. As I say, it was Phetchaburi Road, and if you don't know where Phetchaburi Road is, if you come out of Soi 4 and you've got the police box there, cross the road and you've got Soi 3, haven't you? As you walk down Soi 3, you've got the Grace Hotel on the right. If you kept going to the end, you've got the busy road at the end, haven't you? That's Phetchaburi Road, and that used to be lined with bars, and all the GIs used to hang out there. I'm talking during the Vietnam area, and then Pat Pong later on. Okay. I'm just, as always, I'm trying to pull out the comments where people aren't talking to each other. That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that. Chugsy says they may confiscate sunscreen at the airport. Heard there may be alternatives being sold soon. Yeah, well, that's fine. I mean, if they, I can understand them. I mean, if they're serious about it, I can understand that. But if they bring out an alternative, as long as it doesn't take the skin off your arms or makes the gold fall out your teeth or something, that's fine, but I'm not sure I'd want to put an alternative on that hasn't been sort of fully tested. Oh yeah, a lot of people know about this. The fine for using sunscreen on a beach in Thailand is 100,000 baht. It makes you wonder, do they want tourists to come back? You know what, that's exactly what me and somebody else said when we were talking about it yesterday, me and Damon. It's almost, I know they're not, but when you read stories like this and you'll get fined, they want you to stop smoking, right? So we all stopped smoking. We went on the vape. Then it was like, well, if you get caught vaping, it's a 200,000. Is it 200,000? Yeah, 200,000 baht fine or 2 years in jail. And now this thing with the sunscreen, and it almost seems as if they're trying to think of every trick in the book to say, we don't want you guys to come back here. We don't want any more tourists back here, without actually saying it. That's what it feels like. We'll have to see what's further on down the line. Okay, so let me go into so some of the stories, rather than read them out and long stories, I just like to put them up on screen, little headings. We've done the if you just joined us, I'll just put that up again just so you can see how it's going. It's 10 to 10, but I think I'm going to have a beer while that's up. They're really cold. I hope they're not frozen. See, if they freeze and then they unfreeze, they just got no taste to them. You can drink them, and I'm sure they'd get you drunk, but they don't. Once they've been frozen, no, they're not frozen. They're nice and cold, but they're not frozen. Right, I don't want to leave you in limbo. Let me. I just want to say hi to these guys. I do occasionally get guys send me a little Cronenberg donation through PayPal, and I do appreciate it. Sometimes it's a lot of guys, sometimes one or two guys, not a lot, you know, a few dollars here and there, but it's all appreciated. And just say hi to them two guys because they sent me something this week. I keep saying me, I keep forgetting it's me and Simon now, because Simon came onto the channel obviously 18 months after me, but it is both of us now. And if you've just joined us, fingers and toes crossed, the next episode of Nat and Dave is out tomorrow. What time it will be out, I don't know, but I've spoken to Simon and he's sort of assured me it will be. So let's get rid of that. Okay. That's a shame as well. I'll just put that one up there. Cheers, guys, whatever you're drinking. A little bit early for me, but I'm surprised we've got 100 and I was just about to say 186 in the chat, 185 now. Someone must have got bored with my drinking. But cheers anyway. Yeah, that's really ice cold. That is really ice cold. I think I got it out. I think I got it at the crucial moment just before it started crystallizing. Right. Okay. And I think we're going to do this now. Okay. So let me get clipboard number 2. Are you ready for this? So this is a game. Before we do it, let me just catch up on the comments, just if anybody else has joined us, and we'll do the game. Yeah, Taxi to Live. The sunscreen thing is nuts. It's just at the beach, right? I don't know. Does anybody know for sure? Because it is law. It's going to be illegal. But whether I don't know, at your hotel, surely if you're sitting at your swimming pool in your hotel and you use sunscreen, is that illegal? Surely not. Maybe you know. I don't. Yeah. Peter Javier says, have you ever seen videos from celebrity chef Keith Floyd cooking in Koh Samui? Very interesting footage from Thailand. It's funny you should say that, because my wife is Korean and she likes two things in life: Korean dramas and cooking shows. And we used to watch, there's not many programs we can watch together because I'm into kind of like the Discovery Channel, anything about the Second World War, crime, killer in my village, all that sort of stuff. I can't stand stuff like Get Me Out the Jungle, The X Factor, and EastEnders and Coronation Street. But, you know, some people love it. I hate it. I actually hate it with a passion. So there's not much my wife and I can watch together. And one of the things there's a couple of things we could watch together. The Michael Palin documentaries, where he's traveling all over Europe and around the world in 80 days. They were great. We could both watch them. They were interesting. Michael Palin in North Korea, that was very, very interesting. But this Keith Floyd, yeah, we've watched him and we've seen him all over the place, not just in Koh Samui, Italy, Spain. I mean, he goes all over. Some people used to call him the dirty chef because he's sticking his fingers in the food and drinking wine in between. So, yeah, I have. Mazza, that is very generous of you. Thank you very much. Second super chat of the night there. And it's quite a nice one as well, Mazza. Thanks. I appreciate that. Lost you. Where are we? There we go. Put that up on screen. So I'll give you a big cheers. It goes really quick, you know, between when I finished the live stream last week. Is that on or off? No, it's on. Right. You know, when it comes round 2 weeks' time, I think, is it 2 weeks already? It goes so fast. I'll put that up. Yeah, I can't take any credit for that because Nat and Dave is Simon's thing. He showed me how to use the software. It's really difficult. I'm not computer illiterate. You can see, you know, I do thumbnails on the stories. I make videos. They're not high standard, but for a 61-year-old guy, that I'm guessing they're not too bad. But Simon's the guy who does the Dave and Nat stuff. It is really complicated software. And somebody wrote to me the other day and said, Nat, is that a computer-generated voice? It's not. No, it's a real Thai girl, and she's given a script. I've been on it as well, so I'd have to do a voiceover for my part. And Nat will be giving all. So Simon writes a script. It's a story, you know. Nat went into the bar. Nat met Dave. Dave said this. Nat said that. So it's a proper script. But then all them voices have to be generated. So Nat, I'm calling her Nat, the real Thai girl, will have a piece of paper with all these saying, and she has to say each saying 4 times. And Simon will pick the best one. With Damien, he didn't have to do that, mate. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. We talked about this last week, didn't we? I'll put that up on screen. Generously, yeah. But when we got to Brighton, I'm buying the fish and chips, right? Okay. Now you made me lose my train of thought. So all them lines that Nat comes out with, it looks so natural, doesn't it, in the animation? But the Thai girl, she sits there and she says each one of those lines 4 times. If I'm in it, I'll have to say it 4 times. And Simon picks the best one, then he strings it all together and it comes out. And believe it or not, I think they're like 8 to 10 minutes long, and they take probably 20, 30 hours. I mean, it's such a lot of work. All right. Nick Frankel says the sunscreen law is to protect. Yeah, that's what I said, Nick. That's what they said, that it's to protect the coral reef. But the question everybody's asking now is, it's Thai law not to use it, but is that only on the beach or is that everywhere? For instance, you're sitting in your 5-star hotel next to a beautiful pool. Can you put sunscreen on? Right. Yeah, Paul Hoskins says no sunscreen. I'm going to be missing the smell of coconuts. Always smells of coconuts, doesn't it? Okay, right. Time for our let's see, just don't miss anything here. Hang on, what's this? Peter, in one of your previous videos, you showed pictures of several lady boys. Considering how so many of your viewers were unable to accurately tell, yes. Part 2, please. Is it here? Right, here we go. Here's part 2. Right. In your opinion, are the foreign men that you see walking around with ladyboys simply clueless or knowingly with men? To each your own, but just curious. So let's kind of try and answer that in an intelligent way. So what you're trying to say is, if a man's walking through the streets and he's got a ladyboy in his arm, I don't need to explain what a ladyboy is. So a guy's walking down Beach Road, he's got a ladyboy. The question is, does he realize it's a ladyboy? Or has he made a mistake because they look so much like women? No, I think most of the guys who go out there to hook up with ladyboys, that's why they go to Thailand. There's not many places in the world where if you're into that sort of thing, it's in abundance, but it is in Thailand. So a lot of those guys who are into that will go out especially for that. There's another category of guys that I've joked about who it's not something they'd ever consider, but it's just something they do occasionally when they go to Thailand because they've got a kind of wide repertoire, but they don't want their friends to know about it. And a typical example, I said this last week, I'll say it again real quick, but there'll be 3 of you in a bar. It'll be midnight, and one of the guys will say, "Oh, I'm tired. I'm going back to my hotel now." And we're like, "What? It's midnight." And he'll say, "Yeah, I'm really tired and jet lag." And that's it. He's gone. You don't think nothing more. 3 o'clock in the morning, you're walking home, and who do you see walking down the other side of the road, arm in arm with a ladyboy? Yep, it's your friend who said he was going home at 12. So I think the majority, when you first arrive there, you might look at one and say, "Is that or isn't it?" You're not sure, but people soon tell you that there's not many people make a mistake. And I think most of the guys you see are actually with them. And with that, I think we should go straight into our spot the ladyboy. Let me just change this background picture because I want to get something neutral because it will look too busy otherwise. Just trying to think. I've got a plain picture. That's fairly plain. Let me put that one in. Right, that's not. I'll change that after the competition. Right, quick slurp. Okay, got to find these pictures now. I've got so much in here today. Right, right, I'm ready to go. Ready for rock and roll. Right, these pictures are courtesy of Marky Mark. So I know you're not watching it now, Mark. Times are different, but you will watch this on the rerun. And I just want to say very quickly again, sometimes I get messages from people saying, "Oh, I watched the live stream after it had finished being live, but the chat isn't working." It takes YouTube probably 24 hours to process it. So you can actually watch it immediately after it's finished, but the chat takes quite a long time to actually start working again. Yeah, so these pictures, he actually sent me 30, but I'm not going to show you 30. I'm going to show you 15, and then we'll do another 15 in 2 weeks' time. So I've got the answers here. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to ask you on each one. I'm going to go through these 15 pictures. No tricks this time. Last time there was one woman and it was a bit of a trick, but there's more than one woman in this one. So it's very easy. I'm going to run through the 15 pictures and then I might run through them a second time. And all I want you to do, when I say, you don't need to say these are ladies and these are ladyboys. You just make a note of the number that comes through. So you've got to count them through because I should have put numbers on them. So just count them through. And if you think, for instance, number 5 is a ladyboy, just make a note of number 5. And when we've done the 15, you might say 5 5, 9, and 12, right? And then we'll get all the people doing that, and then I'll tell you which ones are really ladyboys and which one are real women, right? So let's not waste any more time. Here's number 1. Right, the reason that's staying on, you can see me picking up my beer there. That's why it's on a bit longer. Right, number 1, ladyboy or lady. Number 2, you have to let me know if I'm not leaving them on long enough. Number 3, 4, I'll count them for you. Number 5, mosquitoes. 6, 7, 8. It's a good job I'm not doing the whole 30. We'll be here all night. That's number 8, by the way. Number 9. I think you'll be surprised at this. I was. Number 10. Number 11. Number 12. 13. 14. Is that a lady or a lady boy? And the last one, number 15. Is that a lady or a lady boy? Okay, so let me just come out of that for a minute and let's have some answers in. And what I'll do, I will read out anybody who gets them right. Just put the numbers of the ones that you think are lady boys. I'll whiz through them once again. Hi, Christopher Dorr. How are you doing? Right, anybody? Takes a while for them to come in. Right, D-Rock says number 3 is beautiful. Right. Okay, the Sam TT, you haven't put yeah, okay, I've got you right. Okay. I've got many answers coming in here. Right, the Wise Prophet says 10 is Alexander DuPont, 10 is my girlfriend. Yeah, Seamus, you're not joking. They are very difficult. I thought I was an expert on them, but I had to write to him and say, "Are you sure?" Right, Wise Prophet. Right, he says 12 is. Alexander DuPont, 13 is. 14 is. I'm not saying they are. This is what you guys are guessing, and we'll run through them, and I'll show you which ones they are. So these numbers you'll give me, these are supposedly the lady boys. So Dave Andrew says 1, 4, 12, 13, 14, and 15. You think they're the lady boys. Taxi to Laos says 9 lady boys. Jamie Smith says 12 lady boys. We'll reveal all in a second. Any more? Jamie Smith says 14 lady boys. Gary Russell, 12 lady boys. Born Survivor, 4, 12, and 14. God, not many of you getting it right tonight, guys. You're beginning to worry me. Go 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, we've got one right answer. I'm not going to tell you who's got it because you'll all get it then. Hi to Fitzy. I haven't said hello to you. How are you doing, mate? D-Rock says, show pictures again quick. Well, I'm going to go because there's 15 of them. I am going to show them again, but I'm actually going to. All right, let me go through them really quick. I was going to go through them and say, that's a ladyboy, that's a woman, that's a ladyboy. But I'll go through really, really quick, and it will be quick. And you have one more shot at this, right? So when you put the numbers, only ladyboy. Here we go, really quick now. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Right, so that you've had plenty of time now. I'm going to wait a couple of minutes. Give me an excuse to have another drink here, and then we'll... As far as I can see, only one person's got the right answer so far. But they're not easy, guys. I mean, I got them wrong. I got one right. Careful, Alex, careful. You know what surprised me last week was 2 weeks ago when we did it. You know, I always thought a lot of guys would be shy about this sort of thing. And, you know, when we did this competition last time, you know, people were coming out and saying, oh, that one's nice, that one's nice. People were coming, I don't know how to say it. People were coming out from under the stone, as they say. Graham Hawkins, no, you've done a lot there. That's not right. Okay, right. I think we've been on this long enough. So let me go through them. I'm going to tell you, one person got it right. Let me just see if I can find him now because he got it right. Right. Sam the TT, you got it right. Well done. You must be an expert on this. Right, here we go. Okay, you ready? Right. Ladyboy. I'm just waiting for this to load up on your end. Right, so that is 100% a ladyboy. Ladyboy. Lady. 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 I mean, that's obviously a lady, isn't it? Not sure on that one, eh, guys? Lady. I'll tell you the one that tripped me up. Two of them, actually. Lady. Lady. That kind of looks like one, doesn't it? That is definitely a lady. Lady. And we've got, you know, Marky Mark's got all the names, who they are, what they're famous for or whatever. So there's no mistakes here. Lady. Lady. Now, this is the one that got me. That is a lady, right? That would trip you up, wouldn't it? And this one tripped me up as well. Next one. That is a lady as well. Now, I don't think this lady would be watching the channel, but if she was, I'll apologize to you now. But that really got me. I couldn't believe it. I thought that was a lady. So the only one who got that right, as I say, was Sam TT, was it? So well done to you, Sam. You certainly know your lady boys. All right. So I could have split that into 3 weeks, couldn't I? I could have done 10, 10, 10, but we've got 15 for next week. By the way, number 30. Oh, that's next week. I won't tell you who that is now. Somebody famous. But that'll be next week. Okay. Juji Elf. Wow. Crab Claw. Lady Boys over feminine gestures. Okay. Yeah, you weren't far off, Alexandra, but what would you be like after a few Thai whiskies down your neck? I mean, it must be strange for anybody who comes onto channels like this who, you know, they're planning to go to Thailand, so they watch all the videos, they're educating themselves on Thailand, so they also might want to watch a few live streams, and they're like, you know, they've probably never seen a ladyboy, maybe a picture. It must be quite kind of shocking for them. There are a lot of clues, you know, I mean, but some of them are getting harder now. The obvious clues used to be an Adam's apple, but they've got a procedure now where they can shave that down. Normally they have big hands and big feet, don't they? That's a big giveaway. And they're normally a lot taller than regular Thai girls as well. David Humphrey says, if they look like that, I don't care. All right. Truth and honesty tonight, David. There we go. Okay, a little headline there for you just to ponder on. Okay, and if you've just joined us tonight, let me put the exchange rates on again because oh, hang on, what we've done, one beer and I'm messing it up already. I'm trying to get rid of that one. That's it. Yeah, as I said earlier, the only two currencies that are kind of static, they haven't gone up or down, are the Canadian dollar and the euro. All the rest, the baht's kind of falling. 46.06. You might be right, Damon. You said it will be 50 by Christmas. Who knows? Let's hope you're right. It's quite hot tonight, isn't it? I haven't heard that one before, Alex. If I miss your comments, it's like I always say, try sticking them up again because they're coming quite fast. You can't always keep up with them. Yeah. Yeah. I won't say anything about that, but I know where you're coming from. Okay, so let's do another interesting story with a picture. Let's see which one we're going to do. We've done the Pattaya one. Okay, we haven't done this one. Let me just find this one on the old clipboard. It's quite a sad one, actually. Okay, no, we'll do this one instead at the moment. Right, who remembers the program from the 70s, Kung Fu with David Carradine? You remember he wore a kind of an Ed Sweeney hat, a leather hat, a cowboy hat, and at the beginning of the show there was this kind of boiling pot, and he went up to it with his arms like this, and dragons were kind of burnt into his arm, and every episode he'd go and sort out some bad guys in some town. He'd always win because he was a kung fu expert. And then he'd move it next week. He'd be in another situation. Do you remember him? If you don't remember him, I'm going to put his picture up. And this is a story. Apparently, it was out a year ago. I never heard about this. And the reason I'm reading this to you now is because it happened in Thailand. And I'll talk a little bit about it at the end because it's the same old thing: suicide and accidents. And this happened in Bangkok. Now, if you knew about this, or you know, don't come back at me and say, "Well, this is an older year." I know it is, but I never heard about it before. And I just thought it was an interesting story. So let me stick up old David. There he is. And let me just read this out to you, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. So the title of this is called The Last Days of David Carradine. David Carradine was found dead on June 4th, 2009 at the Swiss hotel where he was staying while shooting the film Stretch. At first, it was called a suicide. Later, after 2 autopsies were conducted, Thai authorities concluded Carradine's death had been caused by accidental suffocation. By the way, I didn't mention this is in Bangkok. Okay, they found him in the Swiss hotel Bangkok. All right, so the police said he died by accidental suffocation. In the first week after it was announced that actor David Carradine, 72, had died in a Bangkok hotel room, naked, alone, and hanging in a closet, his death went from being labeled a suicide to some kind of solo adult play game gone wrong to perhaps something more suspicious. Celebrity lawyer Mark Gregos, I think it is, seriously proposed that Carradine might have died at the hands of martial arts assassins threatened by his noted work in exposing their secrets. When a colour photo appeared in the Thai newspaper Thai showing a man with his hands tied over his head dangling from a hanging rod in the closet of a tiny hotel room, a woman's red negligee crumpled on the bed, Garagos threatened to sue any US publication that took the bait and reprinted the photo. It's hard to imagine how someone could get themselves into a position on their own. So you might have heard about that. You might not have heard about that. But that's it's the same old thing again, isn't it? You know, how many times have we heard a man was found in a condo in Pattaya? He had a plastic bag over his head, tied at the back, and he had his arms were cable tied behind his back, and he was found on the floor, suffocated. And it says police think it's suicide with cable ties behind his back. You know, it's another one of those, isn't it? So they found him in a wardrobe, tied up with his hands behind his back, with some kind of cord from a dressing gown hanging around his neck, and it was suicide. You make up your own mind. Okay. Yeah, that's right. He was famous for, he was in Kill Bill, wasn't he? Let me just change his picture because I have this on every week. Let's go to Pattaya again. There we go. Right, let's get rid of that. Yeah, they're not. I heard. Yeah, I'm not sure, Mark, because it's there's a lot of chat about it. He carted it in the Bangkok some kinky bondage, but supposedly that's what they'd like you to think, isn't it? It's anybody's guess. Nobody knows for sure. That was it. That was his saying, was it? Grasshopper, when can you walk down the path and leave no footprints? You will be a kung fu. That was it. Yeah. I mean, that must have been in the 70s, wasn't it? Because I was quite young when that program came out. Alex, accidental suffocation. Yeah, so I'm learning stuff tonight now. Michael Hutchins from In Excess went the same way. I thought he died of a drug overdose. Was he? He wasn't he with Kylie? Kylie Minogue was with him. He was a bad boy of pop, wasn't he? And Kylie Minogue kind of hooked up with him, I believe. Okay, what else we got? Let me see. If I have anything I haven't read yet. Blimey, hour and a quarter already. Quite surprised. We've got over 200 in. That's not bad for the first Friday. If you've just joined us, I don't know if I'm going to keep these Friday ones going. At the moment, it's the summertime. There's two reasons why I've moved the stream to a Friday. One, the football's on Saturday night, so I can't compete with the football. I'll have nobody in. Few people who don't like football. And the other reason is it gives me my weekends. I've got Saturday, Sunday. I'm not working at the moment, and I won't be working till early September again. And it gives me my weekends. And I fly a microlight. If the weather's good, I can do that. Or like the other day, I power washed all my drive, and typical English things that you do. Okay, we've done that, so we'll get rid of that. Okay, let me do Nick. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Nick Franco, another super chat there. Let me show that up on screen. Nick says, lots of suspicious Falang deaths out there. Mind your P's and Q's and always pay what is owed. Yeah, I mean, do you know, it fails to, I mean, I think people leave these comments who haven't been to Thailand, but you know that video I made, it was a very popular video. It was called 20 things to do and not to do in a Thai go-go bar. So I was giving basically I was giving tips to newbies about the girls' drinks, about being scammed and all that sort of thing. And one of the things that I'd actually said, I said, look, if you want to get a holiday girlfriend, you take a girl out of a bar for a week, don't pay in advance, pay daily, because a lot of guys, what they'll do, I've seen this a lot of times, older guys especially, they'll take a girl out for dinner and enjoy her company, keeping it polite, right? So a guy will go in a bar, he'll see a beautiful girl, I think, yeah, she's nice, have a drink with her, she's got a good character, I get on well with her, I feel there's a connection between us, and he'll take the girl out, they'll maybe go and play pool in another bar, something like that, and then he's had a good time, and he likes her character, she's good nature, she seems quite a genuine girl, and he thoroughly enjoys his time, and they think, you know what, why should I go around all these different bars and, have to, try and pick the good ones, I might get a lemon, as it were. And what they do, they think, well, I'm here for 2 weeks, I'm going to pay the bar for this girl for 2 weeks. And two of the tips I said, look, don't do that, because if you're going to an island, for instance, okay, you have to do that, you've got no choice. But I said, if you're in, say, Pattaya, and you've got on a phone a local bar, just go back every day, or give her the money to go back to the bar and pay the bar fine, then it's done and dusted. And if after 4 days that guy thinks, you know what, I want to kind of I'm getting a little bit bored with her now, she's a nice girl, I'll give her a nice tip, but I want to move on now. What I'd actually said is, don't pay up front. And actually, there is a reason for me telling you this. I'd actually said, don't be tempted. If you take the girl for 7 days, don't be tempted to give the girl 7 days in advance. You think, look, I'm going to definitely keep you 7 days. Here's, I don't know, what's that? Here's 10,000 baht, right? That's it. You'll pay for the week. I said, don't do that. I said, it's better to pay on a daily basis. And that, because otherwise she's got no motivation to, behave herself, as it were. And I said, you're better off paying on a daily basis. I said, or even better still, at the end of the week, pay her then. And some guys, they write comments and they put, even better, tell her you'll pay her on the last day and skip town. And I'm thinking, are you for real? You're going to leave Thailand in a body bag. But it's just strange how people think, and it's like these people who I sometimes wonder, because I never had any problems in Thailand, nothing serious. And I sometimes wonder, these guys who get found in hotel rooms in suspicious circumstances, do they get into stuff like this? Do they, do they take a girl for a week and then skip? And, because it's, you might think they can't find you, but they all know each other. And they, the thing that always amazes me about the Thais, they'll remember your name. You can go to a bar in Pattaya, meet a girl, take her out that bar, go and play pool with her for an hour, have a couple of drinks. Tell her that was great fun. See you next time. And you go 3 years later, you'll be walking past that year on the beach road and she'll be calling out your name and you'll look round and you won't remember her, or you might just remember, but she'll remember you and she remembers your name. It happens a lot. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Chris. Yeah. That video was actually received quite well. I mean, I had a few guys, like I said at the beginning of the stream, that said, oh, you're a typical sex pat and, you know, it's only sleazy guys who'd watch this. And some guy wrote, he said, what's the point? And, you know, putting out a video like this, you're not going to be able to go back to Thailand for, 2 years. And when you go back, all the bars are closed, just doom and gloom. And I basically wrote back to him, that guy, and I said, look, the point of the video is Thailand's not going to be closed for a century. And the bars that are closed down, the Thais are very resilient, aren't they? So when it all comes back, yeah, bars will have closed down, but other bars will open in their place. And as I keep saying, look at the tsunami, how quickly they bounce back. So I just hate all this doom and gloom and guys saying, oh, forget it, you won't be going there for 2 years, 3 years. If we don't, then it's not a problem. I can live with that, but I don't want to be told it. I like to kind of hang on to some hope. Right, now I've got that off my chest. Okay, what should we do now? What are you lot talking about? Yeah, I won't say that. I'll put that up, Nick. Yeah, well, crab claw. Yeah, I know what you mean. But this is for guys who have holiday girlfriends. They take them out for a week or so. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You'll probably know because you've heard me say it a lot of times. I'm actually married. My wife's Korean. She absolutely doesn't have a problem with me talking about this stuff or doing this channel or anything. We both lived in Thailand. I've been to Thailand many times by myself. I had an import business for a while when I bought stuff in Sampeng, Chinatown, brought it back to the UK, sold it on eBay, but that market dropped out. So she's cool with it. Right, what else was saying? Right, I'm going to do this diet thing again. So at the beginning I did this. I'm going to do it again because a lot of people come in later. So I've on my videos, that video especially, I got a lot of people say, wow, you've lost a lot of weight and stuff. And they asked me about it. So I'll just put this up. And I'm going to do this every stream now. I'm trying to get down to 90 kilos because when we had the first lockdown, I just got a bit depressed with it all, and I was eating at night. You couldn't go out, could you? So you were sitting watching Netflix, drinking beer, and of course, when you drink a few beers, you get peckish. And do you know what, guys? I'm going to put this fan on because I've been trying not to, but it's getting really hot in here now, and I'm going to put it on. I'm going to have to do one of these Sam Moffat cards for when I put a fan on because I've only got the beer one. So I'll literally be 10 seconds. It's just there, but I don't want to leave a blank screen like Sam says. So let me put, even though I'm not going for a beer, let me put this back up. Just going to put the fan on. Wow, it's hot. Yeah, I hope it doesn't go over the sound too much. That's better. I don't want to have it sort of pointing at me because all the papers are everywhere. It's going kind of at the back of the room there, but it just circulates the air, and already I can feel it's doing a bit. I'm benefiting from it. Right. What else are we doing now? Okay. Yeah, I have got that picture of Soy Cowboy. So I've only got the one. You might have seen this before because, as I said before, this is on the internet as well. I'll put this up and I'll just say a few things about this picture. I thought I'd just seen it. Hang on, where did I? Yeah, there it is. Right, here we go. And what I'll do while this picture's up, it'll give me an opportunity to pour another beer. So I think I mentioned in an earlier stream when we talk about, when I first, this is long before I got to Bangkok. This looks like it's kind of if I had to date this one, I'd say it's not 90s. It's before that. It's not as old as the 70s. I reckon it's about 86. And I'll tell you what, that bar, that go-go bar on the left called Our Place, that was there right up until 99, maybe 2000. It's the first go-go bar on the left just after the Ship. And I've mentioned in the stream a few times, what I've said is, when I first got there, you know, all the bars now, they've got a kind of outdoor seating area, haven't they? So you take the Tilak bar, for instance, the bar I like, they've got an outside area where you can sit and watch the world go by, and then you can go into the actual go-go bar part of the all of the bars, actually. And if you look, what I always say is that when I got there, there were no outside kind of bars. And what's interesting about this particular picture now, if you look at it closely, you can actually see that it's not all go-go bars. There are some regular shops there. So I might try and dig some more of them out for you another time. I don't want to get them off the internet. I think I've got some of my own photographs that I took in the when I first got to Thailand. I'll have to have a dig around, because of course when I took them, there were no digital cameras back then. I think I had I actually had camera with film in it. That was 91 or something like that. So you'd have to take it and get it processed. Okay, but while I had that picture on, I managed to get a sneaky one in here. Okay, let's what are you all saying? Yeah, okay. I think you've got to be pretty stupid if you try and rip people off. I mean, I know they try and rip us off a lot, but the thing is, you know, you're in a foreign country, and you know, you start doing things like running off after a week of spending time with a girl, and you don't pay her. You're in for some hospital time. Okay, we'll go. A few points being brought up on this now. Your tip about the check. This is from Richard. Your tip about the check bin being padded is very true. If it's a new bar, I pay for the drinks as I order them. That's a good idea. The thing is, I don't know if you listened right at the end of that video. You might have, when I said that's my 20 tips, you might have gone off then, because you not everybody watches it right to the very end. But how I'd ended that video, I said, look, most bars these days, they don't actually rip you off. You know, some people, they think that every bar you go into, they're scheming to rip you off. Most of them don't. They're quite honest, because they want you to come back, and it's very fierce competitive now, isn't it? But we've all had it, and you know, it's like anything. If they think you've had a few drinks, you're a bit naive, or they think that if they think they can get away with it, they'll do it, won't they? It's not rocket scientists. You just have to be careful. What's that, Austin? How do I know all this? You must have had some ladyboy. No, I haven't, Austin. Honestly, mate, I know I do that. The thing with the ladyboys and the competition, Marky Mark sent me them pictures and said, why didn't you do a competition 2 weeks ago? And ladyboys are a big part of the Thai culture. They're accepted. They're in every walk of life. People have got this misconception that ladyboys are only in the entertainment industry, if you know what I mean by entertainment industry. And it's not true. They're everywhere. You know, they you'll see them. They're in nail bars. They do hair. They work in regular shops, pharmacies. They're very good workers, a lot of them, you know. And it is a big part of Thailand. And no, I mean, my wife was with me, and even if I was single, I'm not into ladyboys. And I'm not saying that because I'm ashamed of it. I'm just a normal guy who likes female company. I'm not, you know, I don't have anything against people who are into ladyboys. It's their choice, isn't it? As long as they're not hurting anybody and everybody's overage and everything, that's fine. But no, I really haven't, honestly. Okay. Christopher Doyle, pro trip, yeah. Right, Bob Cassidy says, if you leave a bar and they claim you ordered more drinks than they actually bought, can you get the police to view the security footage to prove everything? Bob, you know what, you're not going to win. You'd like to think so, wouldn't you? But if they pop an extra bill or two, they're not going to stick 20 bills in there. They're not that stupid. But if you've had 3-4 beers and they stick 1 or 2 maybe in there, and it's going to cost you an extra 180 baht, you know, what are you going to do? You're going to call the police. I don't think most of us speak fluently the Thai language. The Thais are going to be telling them a completely different story. He's drunk. Of course, they were his. We serve hundreds of customers. By the time you've gone through, do you really want to sit there and go through footage? And then if the police think it is your fault, you'll have to pay them to get them off your back. It's like I always say, just pay it and walk off. It's not worth the hassle, mate. Honestly, really, it's not worth it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been in situations where guys have felt they've been wrong done by, and it might be just they think they've been shortchanged 50 baht or 60 baht, and they start arguing. I'm sitting there, and it is like a car crash. I'm shaking my head to myself, and I watch them, and I know which way it's going to go. The waitress will come up, she's very polite, and he'll start raising his voice. As soon as you raise your voice in Thailand, you've lost any respect that you might have had from the Thais, because that is a sign of you can't control yourself, right? You're shouting, and they'll soon you start shouting, they'll look down their nose at you. You just have to walk away. I mean, nobody likes to lose money and stuff, but yeah, but you'll crab claw. I'll put that up. But what you'll find is, well, somebody will tell me I'm wrong, but in my experience, most of the foreigners who come unstuck in the bars, especially get beer bottles broken over their heads, stuff like that, they've brought it on themselves. You know, the Thais, yeah, they've got a pack instinct. They don't normally fight one-on-one. But what you'll find, the fights I've seen where foreigners are being bashed, done over, you know, I put a video up on YouTube. YouTube put it down. It's a shame, really. It was called Fights and Mayhem on the Streets of Bangkok. And typical example, there was a guy, an English guy, right? He was in this little bar. He thought he'd been cheated. And you know, they're like families in these bars, you know. So you got the manager and his staff, they're like a family. At the beginning of the shift, before they start work, they all sit down, they bring in rice and chicken and stuff from outside. So before the bar opens, they're like a family. They'll all sit down and they'll eat together, and they've got everybody else's back, right? So you do one to one of them, it's like hurting a part of your family, right? So in that particular video, which I wish YouTube hadn't taken down, they said it was too violent. What happened was, it was a small kind of bar, yeah, go-go bar. Was it a go-go bar? No, it was just a normal bar, but in a red light area. And he'd had a few to drink. He thought he'd been cheated, and he was talking to the manager. The manager was quite calm, and you've seen it. And this guy started off, the English guy, saying, "Look, you don't know who I am." Something like this. He was saying, "If you don't know who I am, if you don't give me the money back, I can bring down a world of pain on you like this." And you see the manager looking at him like, you know, what a twat. But he's trying to pacify him. But this guy, he'd had a drink, and he started getting louder and louder. And in the end, he starts banging his hand on the counter, and he says, "Do you want some then? Do you want some? Because you don't know who you're dealing with." With that, good night, Vienna. Someone just came out of nowhere, bang, and he was laying on the floor. Now, if you take that situation, you look at him, he brought it on himself. If he thought he'd been cheated, he could have sat down with that manager and said, "Look, this is what I bought. This is what I was billed for. I feel I was cheated. What do you think?" If the guy can't get anywhere, put it, you know, chalk it down to a bad lot and don't go back there. But you know, he started banging his hand on the bar, and he was shouting, "Do you know who I am? Do you want some? Do you want some?" You know, and one of his, you know, work brothers, as it were, just bang, he was out. So, you know, don't argue with it. It's not worth it. I mean, one guy wrote to me, and he said, when I was saying this on a video once, one guy wrote to me, he said, "Oh, why can't you argue them? Who do you think they are? Gods?" I just wrote back and said, "Fine, go on holiday and start a big argument, and then come back and tell me what happened." What's that? Plenty of comments from you there. Is it Jufi, if I pronounced that right? Oh, was it Therme? Was it, Nick? That guy's from Therme. So did you see that on my video, or was that on somebody else's video? Because mine were a compilation of videos, but you could use the videos. They were what's called creative content. If YouTube have got videos and they're listed as creative content, you're allowed to reuse them as long as you kind of show it in a different way, not just download it and upload it the same as the original one. Excuse me. And what I'd done, I had about 20 of these kind of situations. There was one with a guy in a massage shop. He was sitting on a sofa, and he'd had this nice 2-hour massage, and I think he must have known how much it was. But when the girl asked him for the 300 baht or whatever, he started arguing and saying, "No, that's too much. I paid 100 down the road." And it ended up, he stood up and he slapped her. Well, all hell broke loose after that. But yeah, you're right. Thinking back, I didn't know until you told me, but looking at the backdrop, it was probably Therme. Thanks for letting me know that. Okay, Dave Andrew with my, okay, what's that? With my girlfriend, maybe I go Chiang Mai or Nong Khai and pay 50% upfront to take care of the family, 50% no problem. Yeah, so something else I said in that video, I don't want to repeat myself because if you watch the video, it's going to be a little bit boring for you. But, you know, I was saying about, you know, these guys who take the girl out not to be conned by buying gold and, you know, don't buy them mobile phones and that because you're just being a sucker. You know, they're just seeing you as a cash cow. You know, the gravy train has left the station and the cash cow is here to be milked every day. But what I'd also said in that video is if you're with a holiday girlfriend and she's a, you know, some of them are nice girls, you know, good fun, and she's behaving herself, and you know, you're walking through a mall and she sees a pair of, you know, a shirt, 100 baht, 200 baht, and she likes it, and you like her company. You know, you're on holiday. Why not buy her? But that's the difference from buying something like gold, isn't it? You're not being a sucker. You're just making her happy. I'm sure she'd be happy if you bought a gold, but then you wouldn't be happy. Right, let's read some of these out. Right, Javier, Peter, did you hear that the famous Pandora Bar and Soy 7 Pattaya is closed forever? Actually, it was awesome place. Many more bar. Yeah, there's a lot of them. A lot of them are closed forever. But that name on that bar might be closed forever. But when it comes back, those bars will open again. Most of them. Some of them have had change of usage. But they will open again. They'll just be called something else. And there's a lot of things going out of business. And that brings me quite nicely into... oh, let me just, before I forget, let me just, a bit more doom and gloom. Let me just read this bit out. This is about Pattaya. You probably already know this, right? But it says, the plan to open Pattaya city to foreign vaccinated tourists on September 1st has been officially postponed by the Tourism Authority of Thailand. Okay, so that's not happening now, guys, right? Worse, TAT is unable to provide even a guess date of when the city will be able to relax restrictions and reopen the economy. The Pattaya city mayor told local media the Tourism Authority of Thailand has postponed the reopening plan of Pattaya and several other areas such as Hua Hin for foreign tourists with no future date. It's just out of control, guys, at the moment. I'd forget it for now. It's, you know, that's the biggest question, not only on my stream, but on everybody else's stream. When do you think we can go back? You know, you can go back tomorrow, but what's the point? Everything's closed. Just, you know, just deal with it for now. Right, let me put another photograph up and read another story. You'll have heard about this. So, you know, the Swiss lady who was murdered a few weeks ago, was it last week or the week before? So there's a picture there. This isn't about that. It is about that story, but it's a different angle on this. So there's the that was put up. I think the Thais put up. That was for the Swiss lady. She was murdered, and they caught the guy, and he wanted a few hundred baht to get some drugs and a can of orange, he said, but they've caught him. But this poor woman, she was 50 something. She was, I don't want to say the word, but begins with A and it's got a P in it. And then she was murdered. So here's this is what the article I've read today. So it says, the family of murdered tourists is to receive 1 million baht compensation. So if you don't know how much 1 million baht is, it's in the ballpark of 21,700 British pounds, or just under 30,000 US dollars. If you're one of those Euro guys or Australian, you have to work it out for yourself. So the family of the murdered tourist to receive 1 million baht compensation. The family of the Swiss tourist murdered in Phuket last Thursday will receive a compensation of Thai baht 1 million from the Foreign Tourist Assistance Fund. Authorities have arrested and charged a 27-year-old man, an unemployed local, for killing 57 she was, old Swiss national at the Tono Yan waterfall in Phuket's Moyang district on August 3rd. The suspect was arrested on Saturday, and he reportedly confessed to the crime, saying he intended to rob, not to kill the victim. He had been charged with robbery and causing death. The deceased has entered Thailand. She entered Thailand to travel under the Phuket Sandbox program and was allowed to stay in the province until August the 26th. So, you know, devastating, absolutely devastating. Poor woman. And what about her family? Okay, Bob, I'll put that up. That was quite clever. You know the word I was trying to, yeah, that's it. Yeah, absolutely. Alex, let me stick that one up. I've gone from one screen to the other here. Let me see if I can find it on here. Yeah, that what that's about on screen. Damon, when he's in Thailand, the Thais can't pronounce his name, so they call him Manal. And if you know a little bit of Thai language, Manao kind of means lime or lemon, hence the picture of the lemon. Someone's been on Google Translate tonight. What's Nick saying here? Nick Franco, isn't that for Asian men? Richard, yeah, I've heard it. Okay. I'm 6 foot tall and haven't weighed below 100 kilos for years. Yeah, I'm over 6 foot. I'm six. People say, I get people write comments to me and say, "Oh, you look like you're a really small guy." But what it is, I'm not. I have to. I'm quite tall. I'm 6'1". But what it is, I have to sit a bit lower because I've got quite a big monitor, and if I have to put the chair up rather, it's getting complicated. But I'm 6'1", and like you, I was 100 kilos for the best part of 10 years. I didn't go up, I didn't go down, but that I've always considered myself overweight at 100 kilos. But with the first lockdown, the second lockdown, I just, pigged out. I was eating every night, no control, and I put 15 kilos on. I went up to 115. I've been on the diet for 2 months. I've now lost about 2 stone. I think I'm 101 kilos. I'm hoping by next Sunday, I weigh myself on, not this Sunday coming, but next Sunday, I'm hoping I'm 100. But the irony of it is if I'm 100 kilos next Sunday, which means I've been suffering on this diet for 2 months, I'm actually back to where I was for the last 10 years. So I'm going to keep it going, try and get down to 90. I'll be so sort of happy if I do manage to get down, because I do feel better. How long we've been going now? Hour 20. Okay. Oh, that's a very big. That's a how long. I'll try and answer it. So obviously, Doc Strange. I don't think you've been to Thailand before. You say, what would you say the main differences between Bangkok and Pattaya bar scene? Oh, the bar scene in particular. Okay, so in Bangkok, the bar scene is concentrated into certain areas and certain types of entertainment zones. So you've got regular entertainment zones with live bands. You've got big nightclubs with Thai nightclubs with live bands. You've got the expat hangouts like the English pubs, the Irish pubs, that sort of thing. You've got the entertainment areas like Nana Plaza and Soi Cowboy. So for an example, to get to Soi Cowboy or Patpong, you have to take a cab or the Sky Train or something to get to one of these areas. With Pattaya, it's everywhere, absolutely everywhere. You can't walk down a street without being within sort of 20 feet of a bar. The other difference is Pattaya is a much more relaxed kind of holiday feel about it. I mean, if I'm in Bangkok, I feel a bit kind of, I don't really like to go out in shorts and a t-shirt and t-shirt in Pattaya. You're walking down Sukhumvit in shorts and a t-shirt. It's okay, but I feel a little bit like a fish out of water. But in Pattaya, it isn't a problem. I wouldn't consider wearing long trousers and a shirt in Pattaya because it's just got that holiday vibe about it. But when it's all back to normal, you'll have to give it a go for yourself. We've got Ed in the house tonight. How you doing, Edward? Drinking Kronenberg? Yeah, I can't get on with that speckled hen. I was in your stream briefly last night, but I'll be honest with you, Ed, I was only in for sort of 15 minutes because I was dog tired. Like I keep saying, I've lost all this weight now, and part of that is I'm not eating a lot of food. I'm eating a lot of fruit, and what happens, you get very, very tired. I normally sleep like 6.5, 7 hours, and recently I've been sleeping 9.5 hours at night because your body just hasn't got the calories, and it kind of forces you to rest. So, you start about 10 o'clock. By the time it got to about 15:15, I'm going to bed at 10:30, just so tired. But glad to see you're on the Cronenberg. I hope it was me who's converted you. Damien says, itchy nose time, Peter. Yeah, I think it's because all the dust is going up with the fan, Damien. Okay, so before I go, I'm not going right now, but because I spent some time researching these stories. Let me. So we've done that. We've done the David Carradine. Get rid of that. We've done the. I got to show you this one. Right. This story, I can't pronounce his name, so I've left his name out of it, right? But this is a 21-year-old kid, right? And the headline is, so he's an actor, he's a famous Thai actor, 21-year-old kid. He's in one of the Thai soaps, right? But the headline is soap star, the boy, right? Soap star accidentally stabs his girlfriend, right? Accidentally, 20 times. You can't make it up, can you? So let's stick him on straight. So there he is, the young lad who had everything, who's just ruined his life, ruined his parents' life, and he's also ruined the life of the girl who he's murdered, and he's also ruined her family's life, and he'll probably spend the next 30 years in jail, right? So 21 years old. So here's the story. Bangkok police received a phone call at 1:30 a.m. on Friday about a man allegedly stabbing his girlfriend to death with a fruit knife. Police arrived at the crime scene to find a 21-year-old soap actor waiting to surrender. He was holding the weapon at the time. The corpse of his girlfriend, 25, was found on the floor with some 20 stab wounds in her chest. The actor reportedly told police he and his girlfriend had been quarreling. She picked up the knife from the kitchen counter. He said he tried to take the weapon from her for fear she would injure herself, but accidentally stabbed her to death in the process, but 20 times. You can't make it up. I keep saying that, but it's absolutely true, guys. And here's something about the Thai baht. I haven't got a picture on this one, but you might find this interesting. It's 32 million Pfizer doses on the way to weakening the Thai baht. And when I read that, I thought, what's that got to do with the Thai baht? But it says Thailand's public health minister says that there will be 32.5 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine in the country by the end of the year. The passing away of fully vaccinated healthcare worker has led to increased calls for Pfizer booster shots. The weakening Thai baht against the US dollar is propping up the export numbers. Tourism officials in Hua Hin say the vaccination of local residents will be ramped up to ensure a planned October reopening can go ahead. So there you go. What they're saying is that they're really trying to get Hua Hin up and running. And what they're going to do, they're going to go all out to vaccinate all the residents of Hua Hin. And I read another story. I won't read that out. I didn't print it, but the Thais are trying to come up with a Pfizer, but instead of taking it with an injection, it's a spray. You spray it into your mouth. How that's going to work, I don't know, but that's what I read today. Okay, what are we drinking? Thomas Morrison. I'm drinking Heineken. Wee. I did drink Heineken for a long time in Thailand, but then there was a kind of was it Carlsberg or Heineken? One of them fell out of favor, and they just stopped serving it in all the bars. Nick looks like Pattaya soy 6. Oh, right. Right. You're off soon, aren't you, Ed? I know you're desperate to get away. Is it Crete? You can't answer me. Well, you can put it in the chat. But I believe you go. Yeah, you put it there. Look, Dave, I can't wait for Crete. That'll be interesting. It'll be different than Southeast Asia, obviously, but you're obviously desperate to get away. Like I've mentioned, I've kind of got a few hobbies here in the UK. I've got a family here. So I've kind of just accepted, I spent a lot of years in Thailand. I lived there, vacation there more than 100 times over the years. But I'm in the mindset now, I've done it. Of course I miss it. Of course I'd like to go back. And of course I constantly think about it. And I try to keep the spirit alive with this YouTube channel. But I'm not desperate, if you know what I mean. I know that sounds a bit condescending to you, Ed. I don't mean it like that. What I'm saying is I'll just sit back, and when it happens, it happens. And if it takes a year, 2 years, what can you do? You can't do anything about it. There's no point, is there? So, but I'm going to start doing some local filming, I think. I've got some plans to go down to Brighton. I won't tell you what we're going to film at the moment, but I'm going to go down with Damien because he lives kind of halfway down there. Damien Simmons. I'm going to meet up with him, and then we're going to go down to Brighton. I'll get Damien in on the filming. Maybe give him a bit of an interview, and then we're going to film something down there, Pacific. Is that the right word? Yeah. And then, I did the one on the airfield, the disused airfield, the World War II 8th American Air Force. That didn't really light any fireworks on this channel, but I had a lot of Americans watch it who thoroughly enjoyed it just because of the facts about it. I didn't have to do a lot of research on it because I live kind of quite close to it, and I grew up playing on there and going into the control tower and looking around all the old huts from the war and stuff. So I pretty much know most of the background. That's why I did that one. But I'll try, if we can't go and film in Thailand, I'll try and film some stuff in the UK, but try and make it interesting. And what do you guys think about, that video I made? I've kept mentioning it tonight about the when I first started making this channel, I was in Thailand. I keep saying this. I was in Hue, and I got back to the UK, and I started putting out a few videos with titles like 20 lies that bar girls will tell you, 20 lies that mama sans will tell you. And I started getting quite a few messages from people saying, oh, you're a sleaze bag, or you're a sex pat, or, you should be ashamed of yourself, or you're encouraging ex-tourism, if you know what I mean. And because I was new at it, I felt a bit kind of sleazy, even though I'm not. And I stopped making them sort of videos. But, I had such a good response on that video, the 20 tips of what to do and not to do in go-go bars. It has some pretty high numbers. I'm kind of thinking, why not? Just because a few sort of tree huggers, what I said to one guy, I said, the reason most guys go out to Southeast Asia is because of people like you. You've just got such a blinkered outlook on things that, we go to Southeast Asia, just get away from your people with your attitude. There's people go to Thailand, they have a good time in all sorts of ways. But would you like to see some more of them kind of videos? Because I'm kind of thinking of making them. I've got quite a lot of stories backed up. I'll carry on making them as well. Okay, what we got? Dave Humphreys, Thailand, Brighton Pavilion, built by Georgia IV, maybe. Yeah, no, I'm not. I won't do anything like historic buildings. That's a bit too boring for me. Damien, you notice every time I scratch my nose, don't you? You're reminding me of it. No, I don't want to give it away. It's something. I'll give you a clue. It's not going to be a famous church or a graveyard or a famous street or anything like that. It's something that happened in Brighton, and we're going. I can't really say any more without giving it away, but it should be good. It should be interesting, especially for guys of my age. I don't know if you know this, just a fact had picked up along the way. Apparently, Brighton is the gay capital of the United Kingdom. I didn't know that. That's not why we're going, by the way. I've put my foot in it there, haven't I? What else you guys saying? So let me just put that up from Paul. The fun and pretty ladies you enjoy in most bars are surely worth overlooking what could be a genuine mistake. I don't know what you're referring to there, Paul. But a lot of guys, when they go out around these bars, around in Pattaya and around the go-go bars and stuff, they do. Even me, I enjoy the company of these girls. They're good fun, but I'll go in, I'll buy a drink in one of the beer bars, and I'll play Connect Four. And it really winds me up when I'm starting to win and two of their friends come up and start pointing at holes they've missed. I'm like, come on, guy, I'm paying three of you. How can I win? I'm playing three of you, But it doesn't mean, people just think you're really sleazy if you go out there, are we? I don't know. There's just something about the Thai mentality, the Thai attitude that I love. I mean, I'll give you an example. One time I used to smoke quite heavily. I've given up now. I don't know if I've told you this story, but this is going back years ago, maybe 96, 97. I was with a friend who's no longer with us, one of my best friends. I actually met him in Bangkok. And we were walking down Walking Street, and they used to stand holding the cigarettes out, Marlboro Red, Marlboro. They'd normally be holding Marlboro Red and Marlboro Lights, the white packet, and I used to smoke the Marlboro Lights, the white packet. And they'd stand, every sort of 50 yards would be a boy or a girl holding these cigarette packets, 2 red and 2 white. And at that time, the cost. I was walking down my friend, and he was like Marlboro Red, Marlboro, and I was going to go to a couple of bars, then head up to the Marina Disco, and I checked my pack, and I thought, I've got about 8 left. I might want some later. So I just said to him, how much are they? And he said 50 baht. And I said, all right, I might see you later. Carried on walking. And there was another one of these boys. And he said, same thing, Marlboro. And I said, how much are they? He said, 55 baht. I said, 55 baht? He's selling them for 50 baht. What's the difference between yours and his? And the guy said, really genuinely, he said, 5 baht. What can you say to that? Okay. But that's what I mean by... there's certain stuff that goes on there that doesn't go on anywhere else, and it's just a way that you kind of fall in love with, isn't it? And it's stuff that I find really funny. Right, let's have a look. Roger Ward, I see that video where the English man was pissed up and got soccer punched and laid out, which he deserved. Oh, absolutely, Roger. Did you see him slapping the counter? Do you want some then? Do you want some? He got some, didn't he? We're talking about Brexit here. We don't want to get into that. It's done and dusted. Right, Christopher Doyle, what are you saying? The sunscreen law sounds like another shakedown. Possibly. Hadn't thought of it that way. You know, obviously, if you don't know and you're sitting on the beach and you get your suntan lotion out, yeah, you got given somebody an opportunity to make some money, haven't you? And in case you came in late, what that's about is they've made suntan lotion illegal now, but I think it's probably just on the beach and it's try and protect the coral reef. They said, blimey, you'll be like a butter basted turkey sitting on the beach if you put that on yourself. Okay. Right. How long we've been going now? Another 5 minutes or so. Let me just do this. Let me make sure I haven't missed anything because I did a lot of prep today. Done all them, done that. We've done the exchange rates. We've done the. Oh, I don't know if he's watching, but I'll put that up. He might watch it. Another member there. Hi to Mark Mosley, I think it is. I like to mention when we get a new member. And again, if you came in late, Simon is back on the block now. You've seen him in that video today. He made a genuine thank you video because so many people sent him their best wishes, and he's promised that the Nat and Dave video will go up tomorrow, but I don't know what time because I know it's kind of a rush job now. Someone's giving me a super chat. Let me just check this out. Right, Anthony Jacks, $5. Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate that. Okay. I'll wind this down soon. Let me just. Okay, so there are Sam. Right, Sam says it's only sunscreen that contains some kind of chemicals, and in the marine parks, Hawaii also has a ban on them, and a few other places as well as similar bans on those chemicals. So how do we know those, Sam? I mean, what are they saying? It's a across the board ban. Is it an across the board ban for only the beaches, or is it a ban on suntan lotion brought into the country, but you can buy an approved suntan lotion at the airport when you get there? There's a lot of unanswered questions there, which I'm sure we'll find. Yeah, that's a good point. All right. Okay. I think I've got one more here. We're nearly done, aren't we? I think you probably know this one, but let me just put this picture up and then I'll, if you've never seen it before, actually. Right, I'll put that up there. So what that was the shuttle service between Phuket and Pattaya, which was a very good service, actually, because Hua Hin and Phuket are on, sorry, not Phuket, Hua Hin and Pattaya are on separate sides of the Gulf of Pattaya. So the headline on this is ferry between Pattaya and Hua Hin is permanently cancelled with travelling restrictions for dark red zones limiting flights and bus services. Ferries are not immune from the economic damages of the pandemic either. The ferry service running between Hua Hin and Pattaya has been operating since last year due to the pandemic, but it now appears it will not ever open again. Royal Passenger Liner was opening as the sole operator of the route and the only ferry service utilising the Bali High Pier where it occupied Pattaya Port Sea yesterday. The mayor of Pattaya announced that the ferry company who had suspended their service, citing the lack of foreign and domestic tourists travelling due to the pandemic, had requested a cancellation of their contract with the port. The trip sped up travel time between the two popular tourist destinations, taking just 1 hour, 40 minutes to travel across the Gulf of Thailand between the two destinations. So there you go. That's a great shame, actually, because that was a good service. I think it was about 1,400 baht, because to get from Pattaya to Hua Hin, if you're on vacation, you do want to visit both places. Hua Hin, a lot of you guys wouldn't want to stay long because it is a bit sleepy compared to Pattaya, but it's worth a couple of nights visit. But what you'd have to do, you'd have to take a bus or a taxi, whatever, from Pattaya all the way up to Bangkok, and then some more transport from Bangkok all the way 3.5 hours down to Hua Hin. So that won't motivate people to go again. Okay. Right, let's see what Sam's answered me there. Sam says, yeah, it's only ones that have these chemicals in it. Okay. You're quite a knowledgeable guy, aren't you? What's this now, Damon? Your Mr. Cronenberg is getting warm, Peter. It's still chilly, Mr. Damon. Still chilly. Okay. What else? Okay. It hasn't been bad tonight. I was surprised, actually. I thought there'd be a lot less in because it's Friday, first stream. We're running at 2 hours now. I think that's about it. I think I've done all the stories. What I'll do, if you came in late, I'll just run. I mean, if you guys have seen it, I'm going to end the stream soon anyway. But if you've come in late, there was a story we did about a guy in a local Thai neighborhood. He was trying to break into the petrol station, small petrol kiosk, to fill his truck up for free. And a British guy who lives in that condo with the Thais, he got attacked with a machete. And there's actually a video I've got of it. And you know, if you've seen it, you won't want to see it again. But if you just come on the stream, I will run it again because it is quite not gruesome, but it is quite. It just shows you what can happen. It's only a minute long, so let me just let this run one more time. Okay, and like I said earlier, I mean the guy's dog, it was about as good as a chocolate teapot, wasn't it? It was running around barking, chasing everybody. But what it should have done is bit the guy with the machete, but it didn't do anything. So, all right, right, I'm going to wind this up soon. I'll just read a few more of your comments. Scott from Chicago, you haven't put you from Chicago, but what I noticed, Scott, you put Peter is a legend, but I've seen you on a few streams. Every stream you're on is. That guy is a legend, but fair play to you. Thanks for that. We're nearly done, Scott. Actually, we've been going for 2 hours, but the rerun will be up shortly. Dave says a fine Singer is the best sunscreen, keeps you out the sun. Yeah, I never got on with Singer beer. I don't know what it always had a kind of chemical taste. I could drink the Chang and the Leo's great, but the Singer beer I never got into it. Right. People still talk about this sunscreen ban. Right, again from Sam. Yeah, it's only the one. Oh, did we do that one already, didn't we? Right. So I suppose it wasn't too bad a stream tonight because Damon's still with us. He normally kicks about half an hour before the end. He's a man of routine and he's got to wash his car early morning. He's still here. So I'll take it you enjoyed the stream tonight, Damon. Okay, someone's written to you there. What they said. Damon, no one can just look at the long list of ingredients. I usually go for the ones that are based on metal oxides, and they seem to be okay. Is that Sam? Do you look like that now, or is that from your early days when you were a bit of a hippie and you're about 60 now? I don't know. It's a bit confusing, that one. Dave Andrews, thanks. Enjoyed the Friday show. Mark, are you sure? No, I don't think it is. I don't think it's Liverpool. I've heard a few times it is Brighton. Right, okay, guys. I think we're done there. Nice to see Ed in the stream again. Let's what's that? Right, what's that? That's from D-Rock. Fitzy, a lot of guts and some stupid. I'm glad they caught the guy. Right, you're talking between yourself. Right, guys, all the guys who did the super chat, thank you very much. Damien, I'll give you a ring tomorrow. And thanks for everyone. We'll keep the Friday stream going for now, guys. If you're in late again, just a reminder that Simon, he's going to do his own live stream now. Our Wednesday streams didn't really do too well because of the time of day. Lunchtime Wednesday, everyone's working. Simon's going to be doing his stream 6 p.m. Thai time, so they're 6 hours ahead of us. So that's what's that? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2. So I don't know if you're going to be about, but on Fridays, 12 o'clock lunchtime, Simon will be live, or you can watch it later. So there'll be a stream every Friday now. 1 week me, 1 week Simon. But the good thing about Simon is he's in Thailand, isn't he? So if you've got a question, you want to know something, and he's there, you can ask him. And if he doesn't know, he can go and find out, because he's in Thailand with his family. I think that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this stream, all the stories. It's been fun again. And hopefully in 2 weeks' time, you'll see a slimmer me. I'll try and keep it going. Okay. So have a great weekend. And thanks for joining me on this stream this Friday. And I'll catch you all in 2 weeks' time. Okay. Good night, guys.